Okay, so today I photographed some red ants out in my backyard, and if you want to see how I photograph them, just check this video out right here. But what I'd like to do here is show you how I go through putting the images into the computer, working in Lightroom, editing through them, or a quick edit. I do a preliminary edit, which I go through all the images and kick out the ones that I don't want, so that way I just have the images that are remaining are the ones that I want to work with. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and import these, and I'm in the library screen right now, and I'm going to go ahead and click on import here, and these are going to come up here. It's going to have my EOS digital card here, and you can see that some of these are grayed out, so that means that those images were already imported in that are on that card. So as I scroll down here and I get down to the bottom, we can see all these ant images that I had. So I'm going to click on the very bottom image, and I'm going to scroll up here to get to, oops, passed it there. Let me get back. A little heavy on the clicker button here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down Shift and click on this one, and so now all of my ant images are highlighted. But now on Lightroom, the way that Lightroom works is that these little check marks in the square tell Lightroom that you want to import these. So you can see that all of these are going to be imported with it, and some bird pictures here. I don't really want to import them in with the ant pictures. I just want the ant pictures that I'm going to work on. So what I want to do is I already have this highlighted, all the ones that I want to import highlighted. So I'm going to click this uncheck button down here at the bottom, uncheck all, and then all I'm going to do is just check one of the highlighted ant images, and then all of them. You see that the check mark's going to show up on all of them, all the way down to the last one, and you know, it doesn't show up on the ones above it. You can see that all these don't have the check marks in them. There's no check marks here. So the only ones that have check marks are the ant ones. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be imported. Now, because I'm moving them off a card, what I want to do is I want to copy them off a card. I don't want to erase the card right away, because I like to have them there just in case I need them again. So I want to copy, and I want the destination here, and the destination is right up here, and you can see it down here, the destination, and it shows it's going to go to my G-RAID Thunderbolt, which is a 6 terabyte hard drive, and it's going to go down into folder number 3, photo 3. So that's, I put a lot of them in a single folder because I use Lightroom to organize everything, and it works better for me that way. I'm going to scroll back up the top here, and I'm going to do a couple of adjustments here now. You notice on the file handling here right at the top, I have this set to 1:1. Now normally it comes in as standard, but I have it set to 1:1 because when you have it set to 1:1, when you go through an edit and you zoom in at 100%, it doesn't take time to load each picture. So generally, if you bring them in at standard, it takes a little bit of time to load each picture. Now the downside to this, when it comes in at 1:1, it's taking up more space, and it's also going to take a little bit more time importing it in. But you know, I just tell it to import, and I go away for a little bit, and I come back, and then I can start working. But at the end, once I'm done editing all of them, I will get rid of the 1:1 dimensions, the previews, and that's going to take up less room, and you know, then they just go back to the standard preview. So I have it at 1:1, and I'm going to have name and number. So underneath the file renaming, I have rename file. I almost always rename my files when I'm importing them, so I know what it is. So I have name and number, and it's harvester ants that I have here, and I'm going to leave as is the extension, and I'm going to do no development setting as I bring them in, because I want to do that later on. But I do want to put some keywords here. So I do know that I have some harvester ants already into my Lightroom, so I'm going to cancel this just for a real quick moment here, and it's going to save all those settings, by the way. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go to keyword list, and I start to type in harvest here, and you see the harvester ants come up. So I'm going to click on that, and I click on the number here, and that brings up all of my harvester ant images that I have in here already. So when I select one of them, what's going to happen is I go back to keywording, and it's going to have all of the information there. Harvester ant is going to have insects, going to have the scientific name underneath, what family it's in, and all of the stuff that I keep track of on the harvester ant. So let's see, this one might have a little more, yeah, because I think it has aphids in there. So I don't really want that. I want just the harvester ant one. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just highlight all these keyword tags and put Command C, or just, you know, go up to the file underneath edit and just put copy right there. And now I'm going to go back to my import and click on my import. And by the way, I'm doing all this in the library tab in Lightroom, which is the first one you come into. And you see that we're back here, and if I scroll down, you're going to see that all of the harvester ants are clicked on. They basically have everything. So it lost all of that, so I got to go back through and do that again. So I want to highlight the harvester ant and come down here and hold down the shift, highlight the last one there, uncheck all, and just check that back in so that just my harvester ants now are selected to be imported again. And then over here, if you look, you see that it's build preview 1-to-1, harvester ants, the name, leave as is, name and number, nothing applied. But on my keywords here, I'm going to put Command V and I'll put all of those keywords in there. Now another keyword that I'm going to add is I'm going to add my backyard into that, and I'm also going to add California. Because California is where I'm located, so that's going to include that in there. And as a matter of fact, I can even put my city. So if I ever want to look at something that's shot in Hesperia or in California or anything like that, all of these images will come up. And it has the folder that's going to save in. It's all still the same. So now I'm going to click import and go ahead and just let that start importing. So what's going to happen is it's going to open up the current import catalog here. And it's going to import all them. So whatever your last import is, you can always look at them in the current import. But every time when you do another one, that's going to change. So right now it's two operations in progress. What it's doing is it's importing the images, and it's also making 1-to-1 previews. So we're going to let it go ahead and start importing all these, and they're going to get in there. And I think there's 100 and some. We'll see how many pop in there. But I'm going to show you how quickly I can go through and edit these. Now, if you like what I'm doing here, like some of my videos, you know, maybe you clicked on some of the other ones, please do subscribe and like, because it does help out the channel. And you know, I would love to have you around as I continue to do a lot more of these tutorials on using Lightroom, Photoshop, other programs, also how to shoot macro, how to shoot wildlife. I do photography. I do all types of photography. I love photography, and I've been doing it all my life as an adult, well, since high school, and made my living by it for the past almost 30 years. So it has two operations in progress here. Now the top bar is getting pretty close to being completed. That's the import, and I can see here that I have 97 photos imported. And so once that one clears out, what that means is that I can start editing, because you can see that it's building 1-to-1 previews. So you can see that about 1/3 of the previews are already built. So that starts at the beginning, so I can actually go ahead and start editing these. So I'm going to double click on the first one here, and that's going to bring it up into a larger image here. And you see that it has, on the navigator here, it has fit. Then you can click on fill, which is going to fill the screen all the way across. Then you can click on 1-to-1, which is going to give it a little bigger, and then 2-to-1, which is going to really zoom in. Now for this example here, we're going to use the fill. We're going to use the fill screen so that we can look at them and see what's in focus and what isn't. Now normally I I edit on two screens. I have a 2-screen setup here, but I can only show you one screen at a time. So I'm just going to work on just the one screen and go through that. But normally I would have this screen on fit, so that I'd see the whole picture, so I can see how that is. And on my second screen, I'd have that at least 1-to-1, maybe 2-to-1, to see critical focus. And so that's what I go by. So this first picture here, I look at, and I like the picture. I like this ant, the fact that it's facing me, but he's not in focus. You can see that he's not quite sharp all the way there. When I zoom in, he's not sharp. So I use 3 keys as I'm editing, and that's all I use. I use the X, which the X puts it as a reject. So when I press X, you'll see that it quickly says reject. If you look down here in this corner here, I have this black flag with an X, which makes it an X, and it grays it out. The other key that I use is I use the arrow key to the right arrow key, and that's right next to the number pad, and that moves to the next image, and it just keeps that image in there, so it doesn't give it a reject flag. And the last thing I use is the number 5 key, and that puts a 5-star rating on it. So, like in this picture here, this ant looks really good. See, he's in focus, but he is sort of starting to go out of screen. This one's in focus. I'm going to go ahead and keep that, so I'm going to put the right arrow just to look at it later on, because again, this is just a quick edit that I'm going through. This one's definitely out of focus, so I'll press the X, and it's going to reject it. You see that once I press the X, it rejects it and goes on to the next one. If you look at the film strip down here, you'll see that it just moves on to the next one. This is a reject. There's nothing in focus there. I would love to have this in focus because this guy's carrying this little piece of wood, or it might be a seed pod or something like that. But he is out of focus, so there's no reason to keep that. His mandibles are in focus, but it's such a shallow depth of field that it's definitely focused on the wrong thing. I'm going to get rid of that one. And I'm really bummed that I don't have any of those that are sharp. But these ants are moving around quite rapidly. Now, I shot this in the morning, so they weren't moving around as fast, but they are still moving around. Now, this one almost has some possibility, and I'm going to go ahead and just put the right arrow on it. I want to keep that one and maybe play around with it and see what I can do in some topaz programs about sharpening and denoising. But this is a bad one. This one almost in focus. See how his eye right here is just slightly out of focus there, unfortunately. This is in focus, so I'm going to put a reject. I hate to reject that one. Same way here. He's even out of focus more so. Out of focus more so, so I'm really bummed out. This one I can work with. He's tack sharp on the thorax here. His head is pretty close to being sharp, so I'm going to try working with that. So I'm going to put a right arrow on that one. This one is the sharpest of the bunch. I'm going to put a right arrow there. That's going to be worked on. That's kind of a cool shot, this little seed pod here, away from that, but I don't know that it's one I want, so I'll put an X. X on this one. He's out of focus. Now this one, he is in the focus. Now I'm going to go ahead and put fit so I can see how much in the frame, and yeah, I'm going to keep that one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put that as 5 because that's really a sharp image. He's starting to go away now, not so much in focus. So this one, the abdomen is in focus, but that's it. So oops, go back and put an X on that one. And this one, X, nothing really there. Oh, this one looks pretty darn good. He's really in focus. So I'm gonna give that a 5. And the guy behind is in focus here, but the guy in front is out of focus. And I don't mean guy. All ants are females, except for the drones. They're the male ones, but they're only out, and they have wings, and they only come out when they're going to have mating with the other queens. So, and they fly off. Whole story behind that. But all ants that you see are female, and half the ants with wings are also female. So very few males in the ant colony. So the lady in the back here is in focus, but the other one is. I'm going to go ahead and keep that a little bit and see what I want to do with it. X on that one, definitely slightly out of focus on that guy. This guy was just sitting there cleaning himself, and so eventually I did get him in focus, which you can see there. So I'm going to keep that one. And he's cleaning his antenna right there, it looks like. She's cleaning his antenna there. Again, I apologize to all of your entomological ant experts out there for calling it a he. She's still cleaning. And this one here, they're out of focus. The one to the right is almost in focus, but not quite, so out of focus. X on that one too. Oh, this one's close. Got some movement going on. I'm gonna see what I can do in topaz sharpening. See if that can help that. I'm gonna keep that one just to play with. This one's in focus, so I'm gonna keep that. Oops, I think I just put an X on that. And that is the problem. Sometimes you goof up. So when you have an X there, what you got to do is you got to click on that flag, click it again, and click it one more time, and then now it's a neutral one. But notice that every time I clicked it, it moved over one. So I have to come back to this one here. Now this one, the abdomen's sharp, but not the face. Face is sharp on that one. He is looking away, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Nothing there. Bad. I wish that one was sharp. That'd be a great shot. But no, it isn't. Nothing sharp here. X on this one. She's pretty close to being sharp right there. She's looking at me, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. X on that one. X, slightly out of focus. X on that one. Oh, this one is sharp. This one is really sharp. I'm gonna give that a 5. X. Oh, a 5 especially because she's holding something. This one here, I'm going to give an X because it's slightly out of focus here. And the abdomen's in focus, X. X on that one. Face is almost there, but not quite, X. I wish the face was there, just slightly out. And again, when you're dealing with macro, it's such a limited depth of field there that, you know, you end up with a lot that are just going to get thrown away. So X on that one, she's sort of going out of frame. Now, this was an unusual thing early in the morning, and that's going to get an X because they're out of focus. Nothing's really in focus there. This is a killer shot. I love this shot. I have she's in focus in the front, and you got all those ants piled up back there. So that's awesome. So that's a 5. That's also a 5 there. Now, I increased my depth of field. I think I went from 18 on this one. I thought, let me make sure. Yeah, I think for the first one there, I was at 11. And so now I'm at 18 here, and I got better depth of field, so this looks good. So again, all these ants were on this little bush that's right next to the hole. I don't know if they're trying to get rid of it or if they're all gathering water at the bottom, the condensation at the bottom, which I think probably is more so what they're doing, but they were moving very, very slow around it. But if we zoom in here, it almost looks like that guy has some water there in his mandibles. That she looks like she has some water in her mandibles, and she does too. So I think that might be what she's doing. They're gathering the moisture at the bottom of this plant and maybe taking it back in to use. I'm not sure. I'm not an ant expert, but I love photographing them. But again, it's such a cool picture. They're just all over the place. So I'm accepting these. This rock was the same way. They were all gathered underneath the bottom of the rock there. And again, I think they're just gathering water at the bottom here. So that's kind of a cool shot. So I'm keeping that one. Going to keep that one. Yeah, I'll keep that one too. Let's see. This one is a little bit closer in, but you know, they're not really, nobody's really sharp in that. So I'm going to give that an X. Tack sharp there, mostly on the abdomen. You see that most of them are right here, but I don't know, that guy's sharp. She's sharp. She's sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. This one's good. She's coming back with a little seed pod, it looks like, and you have all the other ants back there. I'm going to give that one a 5. I like that one. I'm going to keep that one. She's sharp in front there. Nope. X on that one. X on that one because they're out of focus in the bit. Oh, that's a 5. That's a 5 right there. I like that one. And she just dropped that rock there, but then she's out of focus now, so that gets an X. And this is good. I like this because this one's sharp right at the front where your eye sees. So I'm keeping that. I'm gonna give that one a 5 too. I want to work on that one first. Now again, the number 5, I'm giving it the number 5 as to that's or 5 stars I should say. That's so I work on it right away. That's the first one I'll work on. So this one again, maybe I might be able to work with it, but you know I have so many. I'm gonna go put an X on that one. That one gets a 5. I like how she's out front and in focus. This is definitely an X. X again. I'd love to have that one sharp, but it's not. Still not sharp. The abdomen is sharp, but her face isn't. They're all turned away, the ones that are sharp, so the foreground's out of focus. This is not a good picture. I do like that one. I think this one could qualify right there. This one's sharp, and she does have some water. So I think that's exactly what they're doing right there, is they're getting water. X on this one. That was a 5, by the way, the last one that had the water that was clear. X on this one. Oh, that's a 5. That ant in front was tack sharp. This is going to get an X. There's just too much going on, too cluttered. X on this one too. X there for sure. X. And I'm going to go with an X on that one too. I'm going to keep that one 5. I'm going to work on that one. X on that one, unfortunately, is out of focus. That one is tack sharp. That is a beauty. And I'm going to go ahead and arrow that one. I want to keep that one. That one is a 5. She has her mandibles showing. This one's not. This is an X. Most of it's out of focus, so I'm going to say no on this. That one in front was in focus. I do like that this one is in focus here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and keep that with a right arrow. X on this one. The two in the front here are in focus, so I'm gonna give that a right arrow. It's not anything that jumps out at me. This one has pretty good depth of field. I'm gonna give it a right arrow also. Right arrow, keep that one. Now the focus, I moved a little bit in the focus, moving back there, so I might keep that one just because to show the overall ones. Now this one is in focus right there. Good focus there. You see that one hovering over? Yeah, I think I'm going to keep that one. And this one's going to get a 5 because the one in front is, if I look at the picture and it catches my eye right away and just, you know, it's tack sharp, boom, then I'm gonna keep it. This one slightly out of focus, so and you can see that when I zoom into 1:1, you can see that the eyes right there, we don't see the detail in the eyes. That's where I want to see detail, or in the surrounding top part of the head there. So that was an X. This one's an X. Now this one is sharp. Let's see what it looks like overall. I think I'm gonna give that an arrow. I think I'm gonna keep that arrow on that one too. That one, I think I'm gonna go with a 5. No, I'm gonna go with an arrow on that one. Not quite sharp enough. And again, my focus has changed to this lady back here. I don't know. I'm just gonna give it an arrow. I'm gonna keep it just for later on to decide. Love the mandibles on this. I wish I had a little more predominant in the picture, but I'm gonna work with it. I'll give it a right arrow. And this one here is very, very close. I'm gonna give it a right arrow. Just make a decision later on. And X here, because you know all I'm doing right now is just going through rather quickly and deciding if I want to keep that. I believe this one is out of focus here. Yes, it is. So that's an X there. And that one's almost in focus, but an X. The eyes don't have the detail. And that's it. So that was 116 images. I went through right away, editing out quick what I want. So what I do after this is all these ones that are flagged as rejects, you go up to photo here and go down to the bottom here. It says delete rejected photos. So I'm going to click on that. And this comes up. Now there's 64 of them that need to be rejected out of 116. So there's a couple things you can do on this window. It has the remove here, and that remove means that it's going to take them away from, it's just going to take them out of Lightroom and leave the image on your hard drive, which is taking up space for an image that I consider a reject. So why would I want to do that ever? So I'm going to go over here to delete from disk, and when I press on that, it's actually going to remove them off the disk and clear up the space and then leave the other ones in. And so now I have 52 images to go through and work on. And when I go through, I'm going to select the ones that are, and I press G there for grid. I'm going to select the ones that are 5-star, and those are the ones I'm going to work on first. And once I get done with those, then I might move on to the other ones. And I'll use, you know, Lightroom, maybe some Photoshop, some Topaz stuff, but I'll show you all that in another video. But I hope this has helped you out. This gives you an idea how I go through and edit through. Now you can see that it didn't take very long at all, but it would be much faster if I'm not, talking to you and telling you why I'm accepting it, why I'm rejecting. I'm just going to go through and boom, 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 X, keep 05, so on. So I would probably do that in about a third of the time that it took to present this to you. And if this helps, please do subscribe. Please give a like down below and let me know. And hopefully, you will subscribe and continue to follow along as I give you more tutorials about how I do the stuff I do with my photos and how I take them and process them and the post work and then show you the end results. So thanks for tuning in on this one. Take care. His head's out of focus. His is in focus. Okay. It's definitely going at the blooper end right here, this one. This is what happens when you have to be at home all the time, work out of home. Is when you have dogs, they like to bark. So this sort of happens. So my son's getting home, so they're all excited. So hopefully he will get inside soon so I can calm them down.